What is going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and today we're breaking down for you two different Bobat attack strategies at Town Hall 12. The Pekka Bobat and the Yeti Bat. So if you guys are interested in seeing more Town Hall 12 content, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. So that's right, guys, we are taking a look at two different variations. We're going to look at Pekka Bobat here first. So what are your key objectives with any Bobat attack strategy? Well, you're going to be looking for as many of the wizard towers as possible and at least two of the multi-infernos. That's what you should be looking for. But you're also looking for the Eagle artillery and the town hall. That is extreme. That's a lot of stuff. But you are looking for as many wizard towers as you can, so you're not limited in there's no max in terms of getting them. You don't need to get all of them, but you do want to get the two multi-infernos at least and the Eagle artillery. It's just going to provide you with more value, and it's going to allow you to kind of get those down. The town hall is almost a necessary thing to get because realistically, if you're attacking away from the base, you need to make sure that you're getting that down because your bats will not be able to take that down. So that's exactly what we're trying to do with this. So what we're doing in terms of getting that is we need to take a look at the pathing of where we would want to place the wall wrecker. This is a good spot because it gives us access to a bunch of wizard towers. It also gives us access to the Eagle and the other multi-inferno and the town hall. So we got some really nice, pretty easy pathing here, and we can take care of this inferno by using a warden walk, and we will be getting to that in just a second. It's definitely a lot better to use the warden walk, especially when there's not that many buildings in there and there's only one key defense that you need to take down. Now, keep in mind that if you are going to use a warden walk, you need to make sure that there are no storages that are going to hinder it, because that will slow you down. So we're going to use a couple sneaky goblins here to kind of carve out this area here, because we don't want the warden to lock onto the storage and waste time on it. So we want to take that down as quickly as possible. But we're also trying to create the funnel using the warden walk, and also using a couple minions or even a baby dragon to create the other side for that warden. So what we're trying to do here as well is create the path right here. We're kind of creating a funnel right there. But what we're doing it as well here is just carving out this area. This is going to leave our Pekka Bobat to kind of drive in like this. So that's exactly what we should be looking for. You'll see that the warden now is locking right onto the multi-inferno, and we're guaranteed to take that down. Once we are, we can actually start to send in our Pekkas and have our warden start to move right in with the Pekkas, the bowlers, the queen, and the wall wrecker. Now, you need to make sure that your warden does not pop the ability early. And the main reason here is you need to protect it, especially if you're going up against singles. So like you'll see right here, we want to protect everything as they're driving through, including the wall wrecker. The wall wrecker is almost super important in order to allow yourself to get right over to the back end of the base. So we're using the rage spells in order to power up the troops in order to kind of get through a large portion of the base. And as we get closer to the town hall, we should still have that wall wrecker. Now I'm going to pause it here so I can catch up. The main thing here is we are using an ice golem like you notice here. We're using that ice golem in range of the wizard tower in order so that we don't have to use a freeze. But the main idea is that we are using the bat wave method, which is allowing us to send in our bats and kind of letting them overwhelm these defenses, because once they start overwhelming them, that's going to basically be one shot after one shot. So keep that in mind. But remember that if they don't clump up in time, they will be weak to a lot of air targeting defenses. Like you see here, this may not look like anything, but it's actually going to hurt the bats a lot, especially when they're being picked off one by one by the single and the wizard and the archer towers. So that's definitely a very, very troubling spot. You didn't even need to use the free spells on this wizard tower, and we had to use it on non-splash buildings. So if you do not overwhelm these type of buildings, they're going to take them down very easily. So if you can't, then that's definitely going to be a big problem. But other than that, still, you can easily get a ton of value with this. Now, what I didn't mention with this one is that you are bringing Yetis in the clan castle in your wall wrecker. What you're doing with that is you're basically just trying to get down the town hall quicker. So that's why you're using Yetis, maybe even some sneaky goblins in there to kind of help take that town hall down. So that's what you should be trying to do when you guys are using this. But other than that, it still gives you guys a very, very simple way of really understanding the use in terms of using the Pekka Bobat. But now let's go ahead and turn your attention over to the Yeti Bobat. Now, what we have here is a Yeti Bat. Now, this isn't a Yeti Bobat, but we're bringing in a Yeti Bat, basically. So this is another Bat's attack strategy that you guys can try out here at Town Hall 12. Yetis and Bats actually work surprisingly well. So definitely, this is definitely something that you guys need to understand. Again, like the Pekka Bobat, we're using a Warden Walk. Now, you can, of course, use your Warden Walk to get the Multi-Inferno. In this case here, unfortunately, we weren't able to. So our Warden kind of continued to walk this way. Since there was no way for our Warden to kind of walk up and get rid of it, it was a little bit harder for us to get down the Multi-Inferno. So we used this Warden Walk to kind of carve out this area of the base. We did the same thing over here with the King, and that allowed us to use the Wall Wrecker and the Yetis along with the Queen right behind and the Warden to kind of send everything through. So that's exactly what you should be trying to do when you guys are using this. You need to make sure that you're able to create one side of the funnel. So that's why we are going to be using the Warden, and then we're going to use those healers. We're using a couple balloons not only to take care of that cannon and the air defense, but we're also trying to make sure that we're able to look for any seeking air mines. This can really be a hindrance, especially to our Warden Walk, and especially if you only have 4 healers, which we will be looking at later on. So definitely, it is a must-use to use Coco Loons in terms of this attack. Now, what makes this different than Pekka's is that Yetis need to have a constant way of getting through the base because they cannot handle walls too much because they just don't do enough damage to kind of, you know, make it to where they can handle those walls enough. So you need to make sure that you're able to use this wall wrecker and protect it for long enough. Very similar to the Pekka Bobat. But the Yetis work a lot better when they're kind of being sent in as a group with that wall wrecker. And the main reason here is because of those Yeti mites. So you'll see that as we're popping the ability, we protected everything as we went through. We're using the rage spells, very similar to the Pekka Smash. But what we're doing is we're just allowing ourselves to get as many of these splash damage buildings down. This can be things like these Wizard Towers, or the Multi-Infernos, or even the Eagle Artillery. So there's a lot of different things that we can take down, and for the most part, Yetis are a lot more effective when we're doing this. Unfortunately, though, after we use them, after the Yeti mites are used up, there's no point for them. So that's exactly why we use a bunch of Yetis with this in this case. Now, there is a Tesla farm in this base. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to use this archer tower right here, or this air defense, in order to latch a lot of these bats on, so that way we can start to overwhelm the Tesla farm. So that's something that is definitely worth trying out doing, because you're going to be able to overwhelm the Tesla farm, or really any other defense, if you drop it specifically on one. You could do this on a Wizard Tower, you can do this on an Expo. Definitely it can really help as well, but definitely that air defense provided a ton of value for his bats because he was able to keep them all alive. And you can see from here, easily moving through with the bats other than that. So that gives you guys a really good idea of when you guys should be using this. I would use this when really you can substitute either of the two. I would think Yetis are a little bit better, but if you think that your wall wrecker may pop a little bit earlier, Pekka's might be a better option for you. So this example gives you guys a really nice example of a different variation of the regular Pekka Bobat. But let's go and give you guys another variation using the Pekka Bobat. Now we're going to be taking a look at another example using the Pekka Bobat attack strategy here at Town Hall 12. Now what we're going to be seeing here is, again, we want to make sure that we're taking down all these splash damage buildings, but we also want to take down the Town Hall. So by zooming out here, we can see that we need to take out these defensive structures here. This is exactly kind of what we want to make sure that we're taking out. So any other defensive building is really nice as well, but we want to get down these splash damage buildings. Once we've done that, we can easily allow ourselves to get through. Now you may be asking, what if we don't get the eager artillery? Well, there is definitely something that can be fixed there. You need to make sure that you're then able to send in your bats towards that eager artillery as early as possible, because you don't want them to kind of go around the base with the eagle that has a chance to lock onto them. You need to make sure that you're able to get through the base without having to worry so much about the eager artillery. So getting it down early is definitely going to be a must. So what we're going to be doing here is using the Warden Walk not as a way to kind of get down an inferno, but instead we're going to use that over here to kind of create a funnel. So that's what we're doing on this side of the base here. That's what we're doing on this part. We want to make sure that we're using the Warden on that side of the base in order to just create a small funnel here for our Pekka Bobat. Then what we're going to do is we'll use the King on this side to carve out this area. So this is kind of what our pathing here is going to be. Again, remember, you want to make sure that you're looking at the Town Hall. So you need to make sure that you're able to get good value in terms of where your wall wrecker may path. So keep it in mind. As you're moving through, though, you want to make sure that you're able to get all your Pekkas and bowlers into this part of the base. So definitely that is going to be a huge must for this attack. And you want to make sure that you're waiting on your bowlers, because usually it's going to be a little bit troublesome to get them in. And in this example here, we were able to, but just know that sometimes the bowlers may walk onto the outside. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. You'll see right here that we're going to use the Warden ability to protect that wall wrecker, protect the bowlers as they're moving through. And we're lucky enough to have that queen take care of the eagle instead of these bowlers. So we're still not able to get with the main attack, but our queen lags behind in order to take that down. So as we're moving through, we want to make sure that we're still able to take care of all of these splash buildings here. We've already taken down the eagle, and we need to take down the Town Hall. But we still have the queen ability, and even if the Yetis don't get to it, we still have the queen ability. We'll deal with it just fine. So that's exactly what some of you guys have, I think, asked in the past, why not use the Warden ability by the Town Hall? But because you need to protect your wall wrecker. That's the main reason to why you use the Warden ability, is to protect that wall wrecker. So after you've done that, you can actually start dropping your bats and doing your bat wave. Sometimes they may split like you see here, but we're using an ice golem again in order to carve out this area, or just in order to sort of make sure that we're able to protect our bats through the wizard tower, so we can prioritize the multi-inferno and the wizard tower like you see here. Making sure that we're able to take them down is top priority. Other than that, though, we are able to easily get through a large portion of the base. So this is definitely something that you guys should definitely try out doing. Using the ice golems is definitely my preferred way when I try something out using bats. It's just an easier way to protect your bat spell, or to protect your bats in general. And it's definitely going to allow you to get a lot more triples more consistently and less free spells in your arsenal. So definitely just think of those little things. But hopefully this kind of gives you guys an idea of what you guys should be doing with the Pekka Bobat. So let's go ahead and give you guys one last example of how you guys can use the Yeti Bobat at Town Hall 12. Now, in this last example of the Yeti Bat attack, the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand is that, again, when you're using Yetis with bats, you don't really need bowlers. And like you see here, there's no need for bowlers because you have those Yeti mites. But not just that, but you also need to make sure that you're able to get your Yetis across the base. So like you see here, the Town Hall is kind of in the middle between these multi-infernos. So in between that, we need to make sure that we're bringing in a jump spell. What this is going to allow us to do is jump across the base and allow our Yetis to get right in for the other multi-inferno. That's the reason why we're going to be doing that, and we can use the bats to take care of the eagle artillery. Like I mentioned before, if you don't get the eagle, it's going to be better to swiftly overtake that eagle earlier rather than later. But again, we want to take a look at this part of the base here. We want to take this down. 2 multi-infernos, wizard towers there. Pretty solid value. That's what we should be looking for. So keep that in mind. So what we're doing again is we are going to be using the warden walk on this side here in order to carve out one side of the base. So that's exactly what we're going to be starting off with. But we can also use a Yeti and the king on this side to kind of carve out this area here. Notice how we're using a sneaky goblin here and here to kind of carve out this area and provide just a little bit more value specifically for our warden walk. So as our warden is kind of walking through, we want to make sure that we're able to create the funnel on this particular side. So carving this out is definitely a big help. On the other side, we're going to be using the Yeti along with the king in order to carve that other side out. That way our wall wrecker pathing is very simple to get right over to the town hall. So that's exactly what you kind of need to think about when you guys are using that. And again, remember, you don't have bowlers, so you don't really need to worry so much. Yetis, you can hold more Yetis, and definitely it provides you with a ton more. This is something that I haven't seen too frequently, which is definitely something that you guys should totally try out. You'll see again, we want to make sure that we are protecting our Yetis and our wall wrecker with the warden ability. And you can see here as well, we're dealing with a headhunter inferno dragon clan castle. Now this is not too bad because we can easily take care of this with no problem with the queen and the poison. Other than that though, we still want to get down the town hall. So that is exactly why we're going to be using that jump in order to reach over to the multi, but we're also trying to take care of the town hall as well. Now you'll see again, we're going to be dropping in our bats, but like I said, we want our bats to swiftly go to the eagle artillery. We don't want them to kind of go around it. So we need to make sure that we're allowing ourselves to get down that eagle. We're allowing ourselves to create the funnel for our bats in order just enough so for our bats to get right over and overwhelm the eagle artillery. Like you see right here, we're trying to get ourselves to kind of get right over to that eagle artillery with little to no problem. And all we're just trying to do is start to overwhelm a lot of these defenses. So even though some of the bats do split, we have a large portion of these bats starting to move right in for the eagle artillery, which is definitely something that is extremely, extremely important. And then when we're going into a multi-inferno, you can freeze it up. Definitely, you'll have enough free spells like you see here. We had enough to take care of the rest of the base. It's really all that you guys need to really understand with this. It's a very simple attack nonetheless. So, if you guys enjoyed this, let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see a Pekka Bobat or Yeti Bobat full breakdown for Town Hall 12. Let me know in the comments below. I totally love to bring that one for you guys. And if this explanation of these two really does help, then let me know in the comments below. Remember to share with your clanmates because they can become better attackers at Town Hall 12 by watching this video and maybe my other Town Hall 12 videos. There are playlists down below in the description for you guys to check those out as well. So, if you guys did enjoy the video, then remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. Also, feel free to go ahead and follow me on the social. My Instagram and Twitter are in the description below. On top of this, why not follow me over on Twitch, where that is exactly where I'm going to be streaming all the Town Hall 13 action, along with that maybe sometimes some Town Hall 11. So definitely feel free to give me a follow or even a sub over there if you guys are feeling generous or you want to support me over there. Also feel free guys to go ahead and join any of the clans I cover. Their links to their discords are in the description below. But with that being said guys, that is going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt signing out.